give him as much, talk as much junk you can to him, okay? He needs it, all right?
He needs a lot. How your Niners looking? Looking good, man. What, you trying to jinx me? No, man. Cut it out. Shh. Leave it alone. Next question. Yeah, okay.
Home preseason game. What do you just hope to showcase with fans this time around?
You know, more than anything, I think we did it last time. It's just we didn't do it for 48 minutes. The young fellas came in and second unit played a fantastic game that got the crowd involved. You know, we want to protect home court. We want our fans to know that when they come into this gym, they're going to see something that makes them proud. You don't always win the game, but they do know what they're going to get when our team puts on the Sacramento Kings uniform.
And with Keegan Murray out, just what's your thought process and just filling his position? Who do you kind of want there?
Yeah, it's tough because Keegan brings, he's 6'8", he shoots a 40 ball from behind the line. Defensively, we can put him on the best player. He can switch 1 through 4. I mean, he's guarded Jokic, for God's sake. So it's by committee right now. But we experiment with a few guys, and we'll see how it goes. And this is what the preseason is for. And by the time we hit the regular season, it may be matchup based. We'll have to see how long Keegan's going to be out.
Have you decided what you're going to do tomorrow at that spot?
No, we haven't decided yet. We took a look at a couple different people, but we'll see tomorrow. And listen, sometimes you start one way and the game dictates that you do something else, and we just have to feel the game as we go.
What do you think it looks like with DeMar at the 4, quote unquote, if you guys decide to go small at times or even start again?
We don't know. I mean, obviously, he's going to have pretty much always an advantage on offense, and defensively, depending on how big the guy is, we got to make sure that it might just be you make sure face guard him, take him out of the play. The biggest key for us is we got to make sure that we rebound the basketball. That is one of the biggest things. Obviously, that is defense because the end of defense is the possession of the basketball. But DeMar is a veteran. He competes at a really high level, and we're expecting all of the guys, whoever's out there on the floor, to play to our identity, especially on the defensive end.
When you play the Clippers without, Keegan and having to try to fill in there, what kind of test is this going up against a team like that, and maybe the problems they pose as you try to figure this out?
Well, Collins comes in off the bench. He 6'10", and Zubac is in there. Lopez. I mean, they have a lot of size, so we're going to have to see it, feel it, and then from there respond to how substitutions and the different things that we try to do. But all of these have been really good tests. I mean, Toronto came out with a style of basketball that you don't see a lot, and then you back it up to Portland, very similar to that. Now we're seeing a ton of size. So all of these things are good for us to put in the data bank, understand what we have, how we can adjust, the things that we can do during the game. But first and foremost, we have to play with gravity and put our imprint on the game. That's first and foremost. We don't always have to think about who we're playing against. We need to think about what we are trying to do, and then who you're playing against comes into play while the game is going on.
Are you and Scott looking at options off the roster right now in terms of free agents?
You have to talk to Scott, man. You want me to answer Scott's question? You got to talk to Scott.
Right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think always everything is open. We want to be as good as we can be. You got to look at all options, man.
What, Doug, we've seen your philosophical side quite a bit of times since you took over last year. What, and what you dealt with last year, what you're already seeing this year, what do you tap into in terms of your approach to adversity and how you guys deal with that?
It'll be interesting because this is our first thing that's hit us in the mouth as far as someone getting hurt and one of our starters down. Trying to see how the guys respond to that. I mean, me, I've played or been around this game pretty much my whole life, so I know what you have to do. You got to go play extremely hard and get after people, hold each other accountable. You can't have excuses. This is not an excuse-driven business, so it doesn't matter who's out there. You have to figure it out, and that's hopefully what we want to see from our guys. That is the plan, because that goes along with playing to your identity. Don't worry about who's out there. This is how we play, and based upon that, now you can start to establish your identity. And as players come in, players get hurt, all of a sudden, this is what it means to be a Sacramento.
Are they getting to understand, about your philosophy as far as winning those two battles?
I think so. It's those are things that haven't been here prior. So all of habits take a while to break. So there's certain habits defensively that we do that we want to get rid of. There are certain habits offensively that we do we want to get rid of. And when it comes to that's the compete level. That's the willingness to get out there and sacrifice yourself for your teammate. There's a physicality, there's a fighting through adversity, there's the mental aspect of it. There are a lot of different aspects of that, and it's difficult, but really good teams do it.
Doug, you guys are obviously trying to implement a lot in this training camp. The games themselves, does winning some of these games, losing all these games, does that do anything for the confidence going into the season, or is it pretty much a non-factor?
I've seen teams lose every game in the preseason and win a championship. I've seen teams win every game in the preseason and win like 18. I think the Aces lost by over 30 and they just won the championship. So like when you think of how things go, you just have to stay in the moment, man. This training camp, playing, all those things, it's about us improving and creating an identity for ourselves. Do we want to win? Yes. But sometimes you can win and not really do what you need to do. And I think for us, as we establish, it's super important that we do it the right way, because winning can cover a lot of different things, and then as soon as you lose, everything falls apart because everybody's in their feelings and a lot of different things. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to establish something that can last, and that can be difficult. It's not something that's easy.
How much of a factor is keeping Domas out of foul trouble when you look at like what to do with Keegan out of the lineup and how you kind of protect Domas?
Yeah, I mean, just with your stars, period, you want to keep them out of foul trouble. But Domas in particular, because we play through him at the 5 in a lot of different ways now. He handles the basketball, anchor on the defensive end. You want to have that voice back there. It's super important, but again, we don't want to, go away from physicality and all those different things. We have to figure out once we start playing, we want to overdo the physicality. Whistleblowers. We need to learn how to adjust to that, not the other way around where we're not really that physical. We try to get physical, and obviously then it's a foul. A lot of teams that you're seeing, they are so physical, ref can't call all of them, and that's just how it goes. And we have to get to that level so we don't, even though, I don't want him in foul trouble, we can't back away from the physicality and all those things that come with it. Appreciate y'all.
All right.
Appreciate it. Doug, thanks.